The bell above the small neighborhood grocery store chimed softly as a woman stepped inside, clutching a half-empty carton of milk like it was something fragile and shameful. Her shoulders were slightly hunched, not from the cold outside, but from a life that had taught her to shrink when asking for anything. Please subscribe our channel A Story a Day and drop your comment where from you watching our stories. Thank you. Her name was Emily Carter, and she was 29 years old, a single mother, and exhausted in a way sleep could never fix. Behind her, her 6-year-old daughter Lily followed quietly, holding a worn pink backpack to her chest. Lily's eyes were fixed on the milk carton in her mother's hands, the way a child watches something important slip away. "Mommy, are we really returning it?" Lily whispered. Emily swallowed. "Yes, sweetheart." At the counter, the cashier glanced at the carton and frowned. "What's the issue?" Emily forced a polite smile. It went bad sooner than expected. My daughter drank some and..." She stopped herself before saying she got sick, afraid it might sound like a complaint rather than a request. "I just wanted to exchange it." The cashier sighed, already annoyed. "Receipt?" Emily's heart sank. She shook her head slowly. "I paid cash." The cashier folded her arms. "Store policy. No receipt, no exchange." Emily nodded quickly like she expected this. "I understand. I can just return it then." The cashier pushed the carton back across the counter. "We don't do refunds either." Emily stared at the milk. It was only a few dollars, but to her, it was tomorrow's breakfast. Lily's breakfast. "I'm sorry," Emily said quietly. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." Behind them, a tall man in a tailored coat had stopped walking. Daniel Whitmore, a self-made millionaire known for owning half the commercial buildings in the city, had only come in for bottled water. He wasn't used to grocery stores like this, or moments like this, but something made him pause. He watched as Emily gently took the carton back, her fingers trembling just slightly. Lily tugged at her sleeve. "It's okay, Mommy," Lily said bravely. "I can just drink water." That sentence hit Daniel harder than any business loss ever had. Emily knelt down, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "No, baby. Mommy will figure it out." She stood, turned, and nearly walked straight into Daniel. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she said quickly, stepping back. Daniel looked from her tired eyes to the milk carton, then to the little girl holding her breath beside her. He said nothing yet, but in that moment, something shifted inside him, something money had never been able to buy. And everyone in that store was about to witness what happened next. The grocery store was quiet now, the usual hum of conversation, replaced by the soft beeping of registers and the occasional rustle of a shopping bag. Emily clutched the milk carton tighter, her mind racing. She had walked to the store thinking she could at least return the milk for credit, but now, with nothing to show for her few dollars, the weight of failure pressed down harder than the winter chill outside. Lily tugged at her mother's hand. "Mom, can we just go home?" Emily nodded, forcing a reassuring smile. "Yes, baby, let's go home." But before they could leave, a calm, deep voice spoke. "Excuse me, miss, do you need some help?" Emily turned, startled, and met the gaze of Daniel Whitmore. There was something in his eyes, an unusual kindness, almost genuine concern, that caught her off guard. I'm fine," Emily said quickly, though her voice trembled. "Really, thank you." Daniel stepped closer, subtly lowering his voice so the cashier wouldn't hear. "I couldn't help but notice. Is this for your daughter?" Emily glanced at Lily, who was watching silently. She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, it's just milk. She drinks it every day." Her throat tightened. "I just wanted to return it because it went bad. But I guess that's not possible." Daniel's brow furrowed. He scanned the carton in her hands, then looked at the little girl. The innocence, the trust, it was palpable. For a man who had lived in penthouses and boardrooms, he felt something he hadn't in years, the urge to act without calculation, without profit. "Tell you what," Daniel said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small card. "Call this number. Whatever you need, milk, food, or anything for Lily, you call me. Consider it a small help. No strings attached." Emily's eyes widened. I can't. I don't know what to say." Daniel smiled gently. "Then just say thank you. That's enough for me." Lily, sensing the gravity of the moment, stepped forward and whispered, "Thank you, mister." Daniel knelt slightly so he could meet her eyes. "You're very welcome, Lily. Take care of your mom, all right?" Emily clutched the card as if it were more valuable than any treasure. Her mind spun with disbelief. Who was this man? Why was he being so kind? She had never imagined anyone, let alone a stranger, would offer help so freely. "Mom, did he?" Lily asked, her voice full of wonder. Yes, baby, he did. Emily's voice trembled, but for the first time in weeks, it carried a hint of hope. As Daniel walked toward the exit, he cast one last glance at the two of them. Something told him this wasn't a chance encounter. It was the start of something much bigger than any business deal. Outside, the cold wind bit at Emily's cheeks, but her heart felt strangely warm. She had no idea what the future held, but for the first time in a long while, she felt seen. And Daniel? He didn't yet know that his small gesture would set in motion a story that would change all their lives forever. That evening, Emily sat at the small kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a steaming cup of tea. Lily was quietly coloring at the corner of the table. Her crayons scattered like tiny bursts of color across the worn surface. The little pink backpack she had carried all day still sat by the door, a reminder of the morning's struggle. Emily couldn't stop staring at the card in her hand. Daniel Whitmore. She had tucked it into her wallet, afraid to lose it, yet hesitant to call. What kind of help could a stranger offer, and why would he? It seemed almost unreal, like a story she'd read in a magazine, about wealthy benefactors. Mommy? Lily's small voice broke through her thoughts. Are you going to call him? Emily smiled softly. I think I should. But it's scary, honey. Lily tilted her head. But he helped us. Maybe he can help more? Emily's eyes filled with tears. She hadn't realized how much fear had taken root inside her. Fear of judgment, of being seen as incapable, of never being enough. And yet here was someone, completely outside her world, offering help without expecting anything in return. Taking a deep breath, Emily dialed the number. Her hand shook as she pressed the last digit. The phone rang 3 times before a calm, deep voice answered. Hello? Hi, Mr. Whitmore? This is Emily Carter. Her voice was hesitant, but she pushed on. We met today, at the grocery store. Ah, yes, Emily. I was hoping you'd call. There was warmth in his tone that immediately eased her anxiety. How are you and Lily? Emily swallowed, trying to steady herself. We're managing, but I didn't know if it was okay to ask for help. Daniel chuckled softly. Emily, it's absolutely okay. I insist. Tell me what you need. She hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. Honestly, anything. Milk, food, sometimes bills. I just want to make sure Lily is taken care of. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Then Daniel spoke, his voice firm but kind. I can help with all of that. And I'd like to do more, if you're willing to let me. I think Lily deserves more than just managing. She deserves opportunities. Emily blinked, overwhelmed. I don't even know what to say. Say you'll let me help. Daniel replied simply. I promise no judgments, no strings, just help. For the first time in months, Emily felt hope that wasn't fragile. Hope that wasn't tied to some uncertain paycheck or temporary solution. She nodded, though he couldn't see it, and whispered, Okay, thank you. Lily, who had been watching quietly, bounced on her chair. See, Mommy? He's nice. Really nice? Emily smiled through tears. She had no idea what lay ahead, but she knew that today had changed everything. And somewhere deep inside, she felt a cautious but unmistakable sense of relief. The kind that comes when the world suddenly seems a little less heavy. Outside the kitchen window, city lights flickered, and Emily realized that. The next morning, Emily woke to the sound of her alarm buzzing insistently. She had barely slept, her mind racing with thoughts of yesterday's encounter with Daniel Whitmore. She still held his card in her hand as she got Lily ready for school, her heart fluttering with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Lily, cheerful as ever, was oblivious to the storm of emotions swirling inside her mother. Mom, can I take the pink backpack today? She asked, tugging at Emily's arm. Of course, baby, Emily replied, forcing a smile. Let's get going. As they walked to the school bus stop, Emily's phone buzzed in her pocket. She glanced down and saw a message from an unknown number. Good morning, Emily. Can we meet? I'd like to discuss something for you and Lily. Her heart skipped a beat. It was Daniel. They arranged to meet at a small cafe near the edge of the city. A place that was quiet and unobtrusive, yet comfortable enough for conversation. Emily's stomach churned as she rehearsed what to say, unsure how much of her life she could reveal to a man she had just met. When she arrived, Daniel was already there, sitting at a corner table with a warm smile. He looked approachable despite his obvious wealth, the tailored coat, softened by casual jeans and a relaxed demeanor. Emily, thank you for coming, he said, standing as she approached. Thank you for inviting me, Emily replied softly, sliding into the chair across from him. Daniel gestured toward the small plate of pastries between them. Please eat. I want today to be comfortable, not stressful. Emily shook her head. I'm not hungry. Daniel nodded understandingly. I know this is unusual. But Emily, I don't want to just hand out money or groceries. I want to offer you something more lasting. Chance for stability for you and Lily. Emily's eyes widened. I don't understand. I run a foundation, Daniel explained, focused on helping single parents get back on their feet. Education, training, housing. I want to help you access these resources. If you're willing, I'd like to personally mentor you through it. Emily felt her chest tighten. Her mind raced. This sounded too good to be true. Could someone really offer help without expecting anything in return? And yet, looking at Daniel's sincere eyes, she felt a flicker of trust she hadn't felt in years. Emily, you deserve more than just scraping by, Daniel continued. Lily deserves a life full of opportunities, not just survival. I can help make that possible. Tears pricked Emily's eyes, but she blinked them back, trying to stay composed. I don't know what to say. Thank you. I mean, yes. I'd like that. Daniel smiled, his eyes warm. Then it settled. We'll take it one step at a time. You won't have to do this alone anymore. Outside, the city buzzed with its usual noise. But inside that small cafe, a new chapter had begun, one that promised hope, guidance, and a future neither Emily nor Lily had dared to dream of. Over the next few days, Emily's life began to change in ways she hadn't anticipated. Daniel kept his word, but he did so gently, without overwhelming her. He helped her set up a basic plan, ensuring that Lily had enough food, school supplies, and even a few new clothes. Every small gesture felt monumental to Emily, who had spent years trying to stretch every dollar to cover essentials. That Monday morning, Emily sat at the kitchen table with a notebook, jotting down a list of things she needed to accomplish. Lily was sitting beside her, doodling flowers and hearts with bright crayons, humming softly. Mom, do you think Mr. Whitmore will like my drawing? Lily asked, holding up a colorful sketch of a sunny day. Emily smiled, warmth filling her chest. I'm sure he will, baby. He's very kind. The sound of her phone buzzing made Emily jump. It was Daniel. Good morning, Emily. Let's start with the first step. I've arranged for a counselor to meet with you this week. No pressure, just guidance. You're not alone in this. Emily stared at the message, her fingers trembling. She hadn't realized how heavy the weight of isolation had been until someone reached out to help her carry it. By midweek, Emily found herself sitting in a small, sunlit office with a counselor named Clara. Clara was warm and non-judgmental, asking questions about Emily's daily life, her goals and her struggles. Emily shared her fears openly, the bills she couldn't pay, the constant worry about Lily's well-being, and the hopelessness she had felt for so long. Clara nodded, taking notes. Emily, the fact that you've reached out for help is already a huge step. Many parents don't get this far. Together we'll make a plan, step by step, to help you regain control of your life. When she left the office, Emily felt lighter. For the first time in months, she had a sense of direction. Daniel had not only provided immediate relief, but had given her tools to rebuild her life. Later that evening, Emily returned home to find Lily sitting at the table, her pink backpack open, filled with notebooks, pencils, and a small pack of snacks. Mom, look what Mr. Whitmore sent for me, Lily exclaimed. Emily hugged her tightly, tears slipping down her cheeks. He's wonderful, isn't he? Lily nodded vigorously. I think he's like a superhero. Can we draw him a picture? Yes, we can, Emily whispered. And together, mother and daughter sat at the table, their hearts feeling a little lighter, their minds beginning to believe in a future filled with possibilities, rather than just survival. Outside, the city lights blinked on one by one, and Emily realized that sometimes a single act of kindness could spark a journey that changed lives forever. She didn't know what challenges lay ahead, but she knew one thing: she would never have to face them alone. The days that followed were filled with a strange mixture of hope and anxiety for Emily. Daniel had kept his promise, but he did so gently, allowing her to move at her own pace. For the first time in months, she didn't have to worry about the bare minimum. Lily had enough food, clean clothes, and even a few small treats that made her eyes light up with joy. Monday morning arrived, and Emily found herself at the kitchen table with a notebook, writing down a plan. Bills to pay, groceries to buy, tasks to organize. It was a strange but comforting feeling to structure her life rather than just react to it. Lily sat beside her, coloring flowers and hearts with her bright crayons. Mom, do you think Mr. Whitmore will like my drawing? Lily asked, holding up a colorful sketch of a sunny day with a smiling family. Emily smiled, warmth spreading through her chest. I'm sure he will, baby. He's very kind. Her phone buzzed on the table, and Emily jumped slightly. It was a message from Daniel. "Good morning, Emily. I've arranged for a counselor to meet with you this week. No pressure, just guidance. You're not alone in this." Emily stared at the message, her hands trembling. She hadn't realized how heavy the weight of isolation had been until someone reached out to help her carry it. By midweek, Emily found herself in a small, sunlit office with a counselor named Clara. Clara was warm and understanding, asking questions about Emily's daily life, her goals and her struggles. Emily poured her heart out about the bills she couldn't pay, the constant fear for Lily, and the hopelessness that had shadowed her for so long. Clara listened patiently. "Emily, the fact that you're seeking help is a huge step. Many parents never reach this point. Together, we'll create a plan, step by step, to help you regain control of your life." Walking home afterward, Emily felt lighter than she had in months. Daniel's help wasn't just financial, it gave her tools to rebuild her life. When she returned home, Lily greeted her with a bright smile and a pink backpack stuffed with notebooks, pencils, and snacks. "Mom, look what Mr. Whitmore sent for me," Lily exclaimed. Emily hugged her tightly, tears slipping down her cheeks. "He's wonderful, isn't he?" Lily nodded eagerly. "I think he's like a superhero. Can we draw him a picture?" "Yes, we can," Emily whispered. Together they sat at the table, their hearts a little lighter, their minds beginning to believe in a future filled with possibilities, rather than just survival. Outside, the city lights flickered on one by one, and Emily realized that one act of kindness could spark a journey that changed lives forever. She didn't know what challenges lay ahead, but for the first time, she felt certain she wouldn't face them alone. Weeks passed, and Emily's life began to feel more structured. She still faced challenges, bills to pay, unexpected expenses, and the constant juggle of work and parenting. But with Daniel's guidance, each obstacle felt a little less overwhelming. What surprised Emily most wasn't the financial help, but the emotional support. Daniel treated her like a person capable of growth rather than someone to pity. One chilly Saturday morning, Daniel invited Emily and Lily to his office, not for business, but to show them something. Emily hesitated at first, unsure if she belonged in a world so far removed from her own, but Lily's excited chatter convinced her. When they arrived, Daniel led them into a bright room filled with books, toys, and photographs of children he had helped through his foundation. Lily's eyes widened. "Mom, this place is amazing!" Emily smiled softly, trying to hide her awe. The room was warm, welcoming, and organized, a stark contrast to the small, cramped apartment they had lived in for so long. Daniel knelt to Lily's level. "I wanted you to see this. Lily, all these children had someone believe in them once, just like I believe in you." Lily beamed and ran her small hands over the toys. "I want to help other kids too, Mommy." Emily felt a lump in her throat. She had never imagined that a single act of kindness could expand into something so hopeful for her daughter. "We will, baby," she whispered. Later, Daniel and Emily sat down over tea. He explained some of the opportunities the foundation could provide: scholarships, mentoring, and even part-time work that could fit around Emily's schedule. He didn't pressure her. He simply laid out options, letting her absorb the possibilities at her own pace. Emily realized she was learning something valuable beyond immediate help: trust. Trust that she could rely on someone without judgment, that people could care without expecting something in return, and that she could take steps toward a better future without fear. By the time they left, Lily was carrying a small gift from the foundation, a puzzle set she insisted they complete together that night. Emily felt a rare sense of calm, the kind that comes when the first small pieces of a life you thought was broken begin to fit back together. As they walked back to their apartment, Emily glanced at Daniel's card in her wallet. It no longer felt like a lifeline, it felt like a bridge, connecting them to a future she had almost stopped believing in. Outside, the city buzzed with the usual chaos, but Emily's heart was quiet. For the first time in years, she felt she was not alone. Emily woke to the soft glow of morning, sunlight filtering through her apartment window. For the first time in months, she didn't feel the crushing weight of dread pressing down on her chest. Lily was already awake, humming a little tune as she packed her school bag with newfound excitement. "Mom, look, I got an A on my spelling test!" Lily exclaimed, holding up her notebook. Emily's eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of pride, not worry. "That's amazing, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you." It was a small victory, yes, but to Emily it felt monumental. The months of struggle hadn't disappeared, but these small moments of triumph reminded her why she kept going. Later that day, Emily received a message from Daniel. "Emily, I've arranged a short workshop for you this week, budgeting and career planning. Nothing formal, just guidance. I think it will help you take the next steps. Her heart raced. The idea of attending a workshop was intimidating, but she trusted Daniel. He had never pushed her, never judged her, only offered support and guidance. On the day of the workshop, Emily walked into a small, sunlit room filled with other parents. The facilitator welcomed them warmly, asking everyone to share their goals and struggles. Emily hesitated at first, but then she spoke, her voice soft but steady. She talked about Lily, about her desire to provide more than just survival, and about her hopes for a brighter future. As the session progressed, Emily began to realize that she wasn't alone. Each parent had their own story of struggle, but the focus wasn't on pity. It was on learning, growing, and finding solutions together. For the first time, Emily felt part of a community, a network of people who understood and supported each other. When she returned home, Lily ran to her with a bright smile. "Mom, can we do the puzzle from the foundation tonight?" Emily smiled, nodding. "Of course, baby. Let's do it together." That evening, as they pieced together the puzzle, Emily reflected on how far they had come. A few weeks ago, she had been returning a simple carton of milk, weighed down by fear and shame. Now she was learning skills, building confidence, and seeing her daughter thrive. Emily realized that progress wasn't always about huge leaps. It was about the small victories, the moments of hope and connection that slowly stitched a life back together. And as she tucked Lily into bed that night, Emily whispered a quiet promise. "We will keep moving forward, no matter what." It had been 2 months since Daniel first offered his help, and Emily felt a quiet confidence she hadn't known in years. The apartment, though modest, was cleaner, more organized, and filled with small touches of warmth. A fresh vase of flowers on the table, Lily's artwork pinned neatly to the fridge, and sunlight spilling through the curtains in the mornings. That Friday, Emily was preparing dinner when her phone buzzed. It was a message from Daniel. "Emily, I've arranged something for you tomorrow. Don't worry, just be ready. It's a surprise." Emily's stomach flipped. A surprise? She had learned to be cautious, to not expect too much. But something about Daniel's words, his sincerity, made her trust him. The next morning, Daniel arrived at their apartment with a warm smile. "Good morning, Emily. Ready for your surprise?" Lily jumped up and down. "Yes, yes." Daniel guided them to a local community center. Emily followed cautiously, unsure what to expect. Inside, the space was bustling with volunteers, parents and children, all engaged in activities, workshops and discussions. "This is a community support program," Daniel explained. "It's designed to help parents like you gain resources, skills, and connections. I thought you might find it helpful." Emily felt her eyes well up. She had been so focused on just surviving that she had never realized there were places and people ready to help her grow. Throughout the day, Emily attended sessions on budgeting, nutrition, and career planning. Volunteers offered guidance, and she met other single mothers with stories similar to hers, stories of struggle, perseverance, and hope. It was inspiring and comforting to know she wasn't alone. Meanwhile, Lily explored the children's area, making new friends and sharing stories about school. Every so often, she would glance back at Emily with a big smile, tugging at her sleeve to show her a drawing or a new game she had learned. As the afternoon ended, Daniel approached Emily. "How do you feel?" he asked gently. Emily took a deep breath, emotions swirling. I feel like there's a world I never knew existed. And like maybe we have a chance to be more than just surviving." Daniel smiled warmly. "Exactly. It's not just about surviving, Emily. It's about thriving. And I'll be here to guide you along the way." On the walk home, Emily held Lily's hand tightly, a newfound sense of determination in her heart. For the first time in years, she felt capable of dreaming beyond the next meal or the next bill. She had help, guidance, and a glimpse of what their future could hold. That night, as Lily drifted off to sleep, Emily whispered a quiet promise to herself. "We're going to make it, one step at a time." Spring was slowly creeping into the city, and with it came a sense of renewal that mirrored Emily's own life. The small apartment now felt like home rather than a place of struggle. Lily's laughter filled the rooms, bouncing off the walls that had once felt so cold and empty. One morning, Emily received another message from Daniel. "Emily, I have something I'd like to discuss. Can we meet today?" Her heart skipped a beat. Daniel had been a constant support, but something about the phrasing made her curious and slightly nervous. She agreed to meet him at the cafe where they had first spoken. When Emily arrived, Daniel was already seated, a warm smile on his face. "Emily, thank you for coming." "Of course," she replied, sliding into the chair across from him. Daniel leaned forward slightly. "You've made incredible progress in the past few months. I wanted to offer you an internship opportunity through one of my partner organizations. It's part-time, flexible, and it can help you gain skills while earning a steady income. Emily's eyes widened. An internship? Me? Daniel nodded. Yes, Emily, you've shown resilience, determination, and a willingness to learn. I believe you're ready for this step. It's a way to not only support Lily, but also to build a future for yourself. Tears pricked her eyes. She hadn't imagined this when she had walked into that grocery store months ago, returning a carton of milk. She had only hoped to get by. Now she was being offered a chance to grow, to thrive, and to reclaim her life. I don't know what to say, Emily whispered, her voice trembling. Say you'll try, Daniel replied gently. That's all I ask. Emily nodded, swallowing hard. I'll try. Thank you for believing in me. Later that evening, Emily returned home, her heart light with excitement. She shared the news with Lily, who jumped up and down, clapping her small hands. Mom, you're going to work like a superhero. Can I come too? Emily laughed, hugging her daughter tightly. Not yet, baby, but we'll celebrate together. That night, as Emily tucked Lily into bed, she reflected on how far they had come. From a simple carton of milk to a life full of opportunities. The journey had been unexpected and challenging, but it had also been full of hope. Emily realized that hope wasn't just a feeling. It was a series of small steps, each one building on the last, leading her toward a future she had once thought impossible. Outside, the city lights twinkled like distant stars, and Emily knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she and Lily were no longer alone. They had a guiding hand, a supporter, and most importantly, a renewed belief that better days were coming. The first day of Emily's internship arrived, and with it, a mix of excitement and nerves. She dressed carefully, choosing professional yet comfortable attire, and checked on Lily before leaving. Her daughter, now fully aware of the opportunities opening up for them, gave her a tight hug. Mom, you're going to do amazing. I know it, Lily exclaimed, her eyes shining with pride. Emily smiled, feeling a surge of determination. Thanks, baby. I'll make us proud. At the office, Emily was introduced to her mentor, Sarah, who patiently guided her through the tasks of the day. From organizing files to learning the basics of administrative work, Emily absorbed everything with eagerness. Each small task accomplished felt like a victory, a tangible step toward independence and stability. Meanwhile, Daniel observed from a distance, quietly ensuring that Emily had the support she needed without hovering. He had learned that the most meaningful help wasn't just giving, it was empowering. During lunch, Emily sat in the break room, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. Just a few months ago, she had been returning a spoiled carton of milk, feeling helpless and defeated. Now she was learning skills, building connections, and imagining a future filled with possibilities rather than limits. When she returned home that evening, Lily ran to her with a new drawing, a colorful picture of Emily and Lily holding hands, smiling under a bright sun. Look, Mom, this is us, and you're the superhero, Lily said proudly. Emily hugged her tightly, feeling tears prick at her eyes. Thank you, baby. That means the world to me. Later that week, Daniel visited, sitting quietly as Emily shared her experiences and small victories. He listened intently, offering guidance only when necessary, and always encouraging her to take pride in her accomplishments. Emily, Daniel said softly, you've come so far. Remember, this is just the beginning. Keep moving forward one step at a time, and know that I'll always be here to support you. Emily nodded, a warm sense of gratitude and hope filling her heart. For the first time in years, she felt capable of dreaming, planning, and believing in herself. As she tucked Lily into bed that night, she whispered a promise to herself and her daughter. We will rise together, no matter what. This is our new beginning. Outside, the city pulsed with life, but inside their small apartment, a quiet strength had taken root. Emily knew that with courage, guidance, and unwavering love, the future was theirs to shape, and this time they would do it together. The weeks turned into months, and Emily's life had transformed in ways she had never imagined. The apartment, once a place of stress and struggle, was now filled with warmth, laughter, and a sense of stability. Lily thrived in school, her confidence growing alongside her mother's. One crisp Saturday morning, Daniel invited Emily and Lily to the Foundation's annual community gathering. The event was held in a large hall decorated with colorful banners, balloons, and photographs of families and children who had been supported over the years. Emily felt a mixture of pride and nervousness as she walked in, unsure of what to expect. Emily, Lily, I'm so glad you could make it, Daniel greeted them warmly, handing Lily a small gift bag. Lily's eyes sparkled. Thank you, Mr. Whitmore. Look, Mom, they even have games. Emily smiled, watching her daughter run off to join the other children. For the first time, she allowed herself to fully appreciate how far they had come, from a tiny apartment and a returned milk carton to a life filled with opportunity, support, and hope. During the gathering, Emily met other families who had faced challenges similar to hers. She shared her story hesitantly at first, but as she spoke, she realized how inspiring it felt to others to hear about resilience, hope, and the impact of a helping hand. Later, Daniel approached her. Emily, I wanted to let you know that your internship has been so impressive that one of our partner companies is offering you a permanent position once it's completed. Your hard work, dedication, and integrity have not gone unnoticed. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I don't even know what to say. Thank you, Daniel. I can't believe this is real. Daniel shook his head gently. It's very real. You earned it. You took the opportunity and ran with it. This is your success. That evening, as Emily and Lily walked home, their hands entwined, Emily reflected on the journey that had brought them here. She thought of the day at the grocery store, the returned milk carton, and the unexpected kindness of a stranger. What had seemed like a small moment of embarrassment and despair had turned into the beginning of a life-changing journey. Lily tugged at her hand. Mom, we did it. We're going to be okay. Emily smiled, hugging her daughter tightly. Yes, baby, we're more than okay. We're just getting started. Under the glow of the city lights, Emily realized something profound. One act of kindness, extended without judgment or expectation, could ripple outward, changing lives in ways no one could predict. And in that moment, Emily knew that their future was no longer defined by struggle. It was defined by hope, love, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Months had passed since Emily first met Daniel Whitmore, and the transformation in her life was undeniable. The small apartment she had once struggled to maintain was now a cozy home, filled with warmth, laughter, and little reminders of hope. A vase of fresh flowers on the table, Lily's artwork pinned proudly to the walls, and the smell of home-cooked meals filling the air. Emily had completed her internship successfully, and the permanent position, offered by Daniel's partner company, had opened a new chapter in her life. She had learned not only professional skills but also self-confidence, resilience, and the understanding that she was capable of achieving more than she had ever imagined. Lily, now brimming with joy and curiosity, thrived in school. Her days were no longer shadowed by worry, but filled with learning, play, and the certainty that her mother was safe, capable, and happy. One sunny afternoon, Emily received a message from Daniel inviting them to the foundation to help mentor new single parents starting their journey. Emily's heart leapt. She had once been the one in need of guidance, and now she could give back, sharing her story, her struggles, and her victories to inspire others. At the foundation, Emily stood before a group of parents, telling them her story with honesty and emotion. She spoke of the fear she had felt when returning a simple milk carton, of the uncertainty that had clouded every day, and of the incredible difference one person's kindness had made in her life. Lily, sitting nearby with other children, watched her mother proudly. "Mom, you're amazing," she whispered. Emily smiled, feeling a surge of gratitude. "We did it together, baby," she replied. Later, Daniel approached her, a proud smile on his face. "Emily, you've come so far. Not only have you rebuilt your life, but you're now helping others do the same. That's the real reward." Emily's eyes glistened with tears. "Thank you, Daniel, for everything, for believing in me, for giving me and Lily a chance." Daniel shook his head softly. "No thanks needed. You took the opportunity, worked hard, and never gave up. I just showed you the door. You walked through it." That evening, as Emily tucked Lily into bed, she reflected on the journey that had begun with a returned carton of milk. What had seemed like a moment of embarrassment and despair had become the start of a life, full of hope, stability, and purpose. Holding her daughter close, Emily whispered a promise. "We will continue to grow, to give, and to live fully. No matter what comes, we will face it together." Outside, the city lights glimmered like a constellation of endless possibilities. Emily knew that life would still have its challenges, but she and Lily were no longer defined by struggle. They were defined by courage, resilience, and the transformative power of kindness. And in that quiet moment, mother and daughter shared a smile, knowing that this was not just an ending, it was the beginning.